Hey, Kyle is wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NJPW Strong from July 16th, 2022, originally recorded on June 19th, 2022. So this will be the second show in a row from the Ignition tapings in LA and will feature the other two first round matches. So last week we saw in the first round of the New Japan Strong Tag Title Tournament to crown the first ever Strong Tag Team Champions. We saw Christopher Daniels and Yuya Uemura advance to the semifinals alongside TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneels, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols. So my predictions before we even saw who the teams were announced for the finals, um, or my predictions before the event even was announced was Aussie Open. Then when I saw that TMDK and Aussie Open were both in it, that was my prediction for the finals. So let's see how this plays out. If that is the finals, that should be an amazing match. But there's some pretty good teams in here as well. So we'll start this week's episode with a special opening video. It features all 8 of the teams in the tournament, showing some of their highlights. That was pretty cool to have for all the guys in the tournament. So Ian Riccaboni and Alex Koslov are going to be our commentators for the second straight week, and they welcome us and recap the 2 matches from last week in the tournament. Alex says it was a sad day in America watching TMDK win. And we're also told that Tom Lawlor will be making his first Strong appearance ever since losing the Strong title, that he was the first ever champion, but recently lost it to Darren Young, who's now known as Fred Rosser. So that was a great match if you didn't see that one a few weeks ago. Um, but yeah, tonight Tom Lawler's going to fight Bad Dude Tito, and these are 2 men who we have seen earlier today in G1. Tom Lawler is the smallest guy in the Monster A block, but with his great legit background and stuff, Tom Lawler calling himself the smallest monster, or the little monster of A block. So Bad Dude Tito also went over there. He's not part of the G1, but he's there to be as the newest member of TMDK, seconding Jonah, who is in G1 from TMDK. And Jonah is going to be in some tag matches when he's not in the G1 matches, and those will be with Bad Dude Tito. We also saw um, Royce Isaacs also went over representing Team Filthy to help Tom Lawler out, and we've seen Royce Isaacs make his debut as well over in Japan. So if you're looking for the G1 reviews, I've got those up on the page, as well as backstage comments where I read them out in case you don't like to read um, subtitles. So anyway, Tom Lawler versus Bad Dude Tito, and the 2 other first round matches are going to be our matches tonight. So that's pretty cool, but it's not too bad. This is just something that happens every now and then with New Japan only in Japan, only running live shows, and then Strong only running recorded shows. So the last time we saw someone that was over in Japan on the same day as the Strong recording was aired was Jay White was in the main event of Strong the same night that he was in the main event of Dominion, where he won the world heavyweight title. So no big deal in my mind. We already know Strong is recorded, so it's not like a huge kayfabe blowing moment. You know what I'm saying? So they run down the other 2 tournament matches as well tonight. In the main event, it'll be Aussie Open versus Dark Order from AEW, and this will be Alan Angels of all people, who's now gone. So that's pretty interesting. Since this is taped in June, Alan Angels is still part of the Dark Order and still part of AEW. So he'll tag team alongside Evil Uno tonight, who they're gonna make their NJPW debut. So in current time, Alan Angel's contract expired with AEW at the start of July, and Alan Angels opted not to re-sign and signed instead with Impact. So Impact Wrestling has already seen the debut of Alan Angels. He had a really good match against Speedball Mike Bailey. And Evil Uno's regular tag partner, Stu Grayson, also didn't re-sign, and that was at the beginning of June, which is why maybe this match was supposed to be Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, but since they were AEW contracted or whatever to be Dark Order, Stu Grayson was no longer part of AEW. He chose Alan Angels instead, who then didn't re-sign, so that's pretty interesting. But long story short, Alan Angels is amazing. If this is going to be your first time seeing him, you're in for a treat, along with Evil Uno. So Evil Uno is a tag veteran. Um, when him and Stu Grayson, they were known. You might know them as the Super Smash Bros from Shikara for so many years. So, in the other match, I'm not too familiar with either Midnight Heat or Stray Dog Army. I did look up their info on CageMatch.net though, but I'm not quite sure what to expect. So that is going to be our first match. It is one of the first round matches in the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Title Tournament. It'll be Midnight Heat, Eddie Pearl, and Ricky Gibson versus Stray Dog Army, represented by Barrett, Brown, and Misterioso. So Midnight Heat come out to like 1980s heat wave almost kind of music. Sounds exactly like Midnight Express. So like exactly like FTR as well, since they've already patterned themselves after the Midnight Express. And the names Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. Pearl and Gibson are both famous makers of guitars and drums. So it looks like they're not only like the Midnight Express, but the Rock and Roll Express as well. So um they've got a lot of vibes like that. Stray Dog Army come out to some like inspirational sounding music, like the hero just overcame the odds in a movie. And Barrett Brown and Misterioso are representing Stray Dog Army. Bateman, the leader of Stray Dog Army, sent this team in because they have never teamed 2-on-2 before, so they have experience together in like 6-man and 8-man tags. But what Bateman was thinking was, well, I'm going to put these two as our representatives because nobody else has ever fought against them. So we'll see if that tactic works out, even though this will be the first 2-on-2 tag match that Barrett Brown and Misterioso have ever had together. So we've seen that also happen with the pairing of Christopher Daniels and Yuya Uemura, and they were able to win their first round match. So pretty interesting stuff. Ian says Midnight Heat have a 5-match winning streak between Defy and Prestige Wrestling. So I definitely love Ian Riccaboni for that nerdy stat right there. That's the kind of stuff I love to hear. Anyway, let's see if Midnight Heat can even come close to FTR. They've basically got the exact same gimmicks as each other. So, and don't forget, FTR is the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champions. Misterioso and Eddie Pearl are going to start the match, and Ricky kisses Eddie on the cheek before the match starts. So maybe they're not quite FTR. Mysterioso then wants a kiss too, but it was just to mock them. He didn't really want it. So anyway, Mysterioso starts strong with an arm drag. He's a masked wrestler, and so he's got a lucha libre background, of course. And Ricky then takes control, forcing Barrett Brown to tag in. So Ricky tags in as well, hits some nice arm drags of his own, and then they each dodge each other's elbow drops for a little bit back and forth. Eddie and Misterioso now tag back in, and no luchador, in my opinion, should have any kind of mystery in their name. Even like my laptop spell checks his name to Mysterio each time I write Mysterioso. So double T's knees now by the mystery man, just like Andrade does. Great looking move there. Then they Mysterioso hits the giant swing right into a drop kick from Barrett Brown, who had just tagged in. That looked nice. Shades of what was their team name? Did they ever have a team name? It was Claudio Castagnoli and I can't even remember his name now. But anyway, Ricky then tries to save his Tyson, Natalia's husband. Anyway, Ricky tries to save his partner but gets thrown out. Eddie then hits a nasty spike DDT for a 2 count. Tag to Ricky now, and they double team Barrett. Ricky knocks Mysterioso off the apron and then makes the cover, but only gets a 2 count. Barrett Brown's now isolated, and quick tags keep him that way as we hit the 5-minute mark. Ricky now back in and gets a 2 count. Mysterioso bangs on the mat to get the crowd to rally behind Barrett, but it doesn't work because Eddie tags in, keeps control. Barrett now almost fights back to make it to the tag, but Eddie stops him. And weirdly, Ricky stops whatever he was doing at this point and spits, not at any of the opponents or anything like that. Seemingly looks like he spit towards the crowd. And the crowd boos this big time. I don't know if it landed in the crowd, near the crowd. I don't know. It was off camera, but the crowd really booed this. So I guess Ricky felt like he wasn't getting enough heel heat, but I can't imagine New Japan's going to be happy with a wrestler even spitting towards the crowd, even if it didn't hit them. Especially when Japanese fans at the New Japan Pro Wrestling shows in Japan can't even speak or make noises with their mouths yet. And now we've got wrestlers spitting into the crowd over here. So anyway, Eddie goes back on the attack. He gets heckled from the crowd big time now. Eddie now tags in and puts a front face lock on. Barrett now has been in trouble for a while. Barrett Brown has been stuck in this ring, isolated for a long time. The crowd boos massively now for a reason that we can't even see. So Ricky either had spit in the crowd again off camera or is just talking trash to someone. So I feel like Ricky maybe lost his cool instead of trying to get heel heat. Somebody must have got under his skin heckling him. Ricky now tags in. They try to hit a double team suplex, but Barrett blocks it with some knee strikes and then is about to tag out. But Ricky knocks Misterioso off the apron to prevent the tag from being made. So Barrett Brown still isolated in the ring. Then Midnight Heat hit their finisher. It's a double team move where Ricky Russian leg sweeps Barrett right into the knees of laying on the ground knees of Eddie. Looked pretty good. Great move there. Misterioso just barely gets in to break the pin. Alex Koslov, I've noticed these last couple of weeks, is not very good at commentary. Hopefully Matt Ringwald can return for the next round of recordings because Alex Koslov is not very good. Misterioso now throws Eddie out of the ring and hits a springboard moonsault to the outside. He does land on Eddie, but also bangs his knee really hard on the top of the barricade. That looked pretty devastating. I was hoping he would be able to get back up, and he was able to. So he looked all right. Pretty scary looking move though. So back in the ring now, Ricky gets rolled up by Barrett for a 2 count. Misterioso's now back up. This is where we see he's okay. Misterioso hits a super kick. Then Barrett hits a Busaiku knee for the 1-2-3. So your winners by pinfall are Stray Dog Army. And Barrett got dominated 80%, 90% of this match, but a flurry from the fresh Mysterio without even tagging in was the game changer. And good thing Mysterioso didn't tear his knee apart on that moonsault. So decent match here. The stuff with Ricky Gibson spitting was a little awkward though. I'm a guy that loves heel heat by any means necessary. I called everyone marks when Christian Cage was making fun of dead relatives and Jeff Hardy's sobriety and stuff like that. But this thing with the pandemic's not even over and the whole spitting kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm not quite sure what was going on there. But anyway, Stray Dog Army will face the winners of tonight's main event in the semifinals, and that's probably going to be Aussie Open, as I had predicted Aussie Open to be in the finals from the beginning. So we get our singles match now. It's Bad Dude Tito versus Filthy Tom Lawlor. And like I said, we've seen both these guys at G1 on the same day. So taking us a little bit of kayfabe breaking, reminding us that this is a recorded back in June episode. We go right into the next match after the last one. And like I said, they're both in Japan. They were having great debuts in Japan, by the way, if you haven't seen that. Bad Dude Tito out first. He's got some pretty cool music. It sounds like Nas is about to start rapping over it kind of music. Good cheers for Bad Dude Tito, but a few boos as well, as he's still a heel, as is the whole TMDK faction. So Tito definitely impressed in his debut in Japan earlier today, teaming with Jonah to beat Yano and then the young lion Oiwa. And now I am taping this after the second night as well. So I was talking as if that was the first night of G1. Anyway, Filthy Tom Lawlor out next. He dances around. He's not even worried about losing his strong title, or at least not showing that he's worried. He's got a belly shirt on and some Daisy Dukes. Pretty weird guy. So Tito is giving him a dirty look for that, and they start with a collar and elbow, but Tito gives him a clean break. Tito then goes for a second clean break, but Tom swipes at him with a slap. Tito saw it coming though, and dodges it. So we got some pretty good intensity right off the bat here. Tom then hits a bunch of strikes, but Tito answers back. Tom gets Tito down with a waist lock, but Tito shows he can grapple too, countering a heel hook into an ankle lock. So the crowd is definitely split between these two heels. They don't quite know who to root for, so they're kind of split. Tito then takes control with the hammerlock on the arm. Lawlor rolls out of this and works on the arm of Tito now with a hammerlock of his own. Then Tom snaps back, taking the arm of Tito in directions it's not meant to go. That looked pretty cool. Tom then hits a chop. This just wakes up Tito, though, but Tom fights back with somewhat I thought he was going for a jumping guillotine, but it was actually an arm bar that he jumped into. So Tito gets out of this. Tom counters back into a rear naked. Tito counters back again, and Tom puts Tito into a triangle choke. Great counter wrestling here. Tito then fights out of the triangle choke by applying another ankle lock, but Tom is able to get out of this. Running wheelbarrow now by Tito, applies the ankle lock again, and Tom gets to the ropes this time. So I did not expect this out of the street fighter brawler Tito, but apparently Tito has some solid technical skills. This was good stuff. Tom then takes a breather outside of the ring after that rope break and comes back in and just immediately takes control over Tito. Tom's now working a cravat and hitting knees into the Tito's head. Each man counters each other again until Tito takes control. Tito now locks in a camel clutch, but breaks it himself to hit some big hammering blows on the face of Tom. Tito then hits a modified T-bone suplex. Tom fights back, but then Tito hits the same suplex again. Tom then gets up, applies a front face lock with a body scissors applied as well. Tom then hits a big pile driver for a 2 count. We're told it was a 1940s style pile driver, so Lawlor must have been watching some old clips. The only way I could describe it is it kind of reminded me of the Rikishi driver, if you remember that from the big man Rikishi. Tito then fights back and then dodges a kick and then hits a big suplex. Great match here. Running corner uppercut now by Tito that looked amazing. A waistlock takeover by Tom, but Tito blocks the next move by getting his boot up to the face. Then Tito hits a nice looking middle rope blockbuster for the closest near fall of the match. Tom counters a suplex with a headlock, but Tito then hits a blue thunder bomb. This match is just amazing. 2 big guys just going at it. Tom then dodges a top rope frog splash, and then Tom hits a running penalty kick for a 2 count. Tom gets wrist control on both wrists. Then we get another spitting spot, but at least instead of at the crowd, this is at another wrestler. Tito spits in the face of Lawlor while both of his wrists are under control of Lawlor, which shows him that he has no fear, that's for sure. So Lawlor just hits a nasty knee trigger, another knee strike to the back of Tito's head. Tom working over the crowd a little bit before applying a headlock. Tito fights this off, so somehow Tito's still conscious, but then Tom hits the 1%er. It's EC3's finisher. I don't know what Tom calls it. It was also Dean Ambrose's finisher before he had the double underhook DDT. It's basically like a bulldog face buster thing, but this gets Tom Lawlor the 1-2-3. The winner by pinfall is Filthy Tom Lawlor. So great match. I figured it would be, but this far exceeded my expectations. I did not expect a technical wrestling match out of the Street Fighter bad dude Tito, but holy crap. So we are going to be able to see these guys in Japan. We've already seen them 2 nights in a row now. We've got 18 more nights this next month to watch these 2 guys in Japan. And if this is any sign of what they're capable of just against each other here, the sky's the limit for them in Japan. They should impress a lot of people. So now it's time for the main event. If this is your first time seeing Alan Angels, you're definitely in for a treat. Aussie opens out first, and Ian Riccaboni weirdly tells us that earlier tonight when he's talking about last week's tournament matches, but then he says this match is the main event. So he's kind of, if earlier tonight was, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same night as last week, and he just said that last week's matches are tonight, but the conundrum is mixing up if it's one big show or split into a weekly 1-hour block like it is for real. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, this should be a really great match. Aussie Open and impressed a lot of AEW fans who were just seeing them for the first time in the weeks leading up the Forbidden Door. And I think Aussie Open could definitely become the first strong champions here in Strong. So the first tag champions, I should say. So because United Empire have been doing very well lately, and as the 3rd team in United Empire, it would make sense to give them the 3rd tier tag title in New Japan. So TJP and Akira are currently the junior heavyweight tag titles in IWGP, the tag champions. And then Great Khan and Jeff Cobb just recently lost the IWGP World Heavyweight tag titles at Forbidden Door to FTR. So I could definitely see Aussie Open getting the 3rd tier, at being the 3rd tier team on a really 3rd tier team, but Aussie Open look to be, they might be the premier faction in New Japan. And even though they're the newest faction, I think they might be the premier faction. So, but you can't count out TMDK also potentially becoming the first strong tag champions. I don't think Dark Order have any chance here, and neither do I think Daniels and Uemura and Stray Dog Army have any chance in the semis. But let's just see how it plays out until the finals. And if it is the predictable TMDK versus Aussie Open matchup in the finals, we're guaranteed an epic finals where we have no idea who's going to win that one. So this is some good stuff. I love Kyle Fletcher's rogue cape and shoulder pads. He looks like he's a rogue or some kind of thief in a D&D type setting. Mark Davis is the veteran of Aussie Open, being about 10 years older than Kyle Fletcher. And then the Dark Order has the same makeup. So Evil Uno is a veteran around Mark's age, and Alan Angels is a hot prospect around the same age as Kyle. So that makes this pretty interesting here. Evil Uno definitely has the most tag experience in this match, going back to his days with Super Smash Bros. But Mark and Kyle Aussie Open definitely have more experience as a team. They've been together since 2017. Evil Uno and Alan Angels have only been teaming since 2021 and last year, and they've had other primary partners in 2v2 tag matches in that time. So definite chemistry advantage to Aussie Open, but don't forget we saw Christopher Daniels use his tag experience with a brand new partner and win in the first round. So you never quite know. So they start super fast. It's going to be Alan and Kyle, the two youngsters, start the match. They're super fast, the best flurry we've seen in the night so far, but we see even more flurries that are better than this as the match goes on. So this match is amazing. This is definitely an AEW match, not necessarily what we normally see on Strong. But I absolutely love this match. It's more of a lucha style, but I think there's definitely enough selling for the people that hate like the lucha style because of its lucha style. The complaint against the lucha style is the luchadors make it look more like a dance instead of a fight, like too much coordination and then not enough selling as well. But I think AEW's find a good mix to do their kind of matches that aren't quite lucha libre like you would find in AAA and stuff like that. Mixed with like you would see on more like the Impact X Division and stuff like that. So let's get into this one. This is a really good match. Alan Angels was not getting enough opportunities, which is why he signed with Impact. And so like I said, if this was your first time seeing him, you're in for a treat. So Alan takes down right at the beginning here. Kyle takes down Alan with a headlock. Alan gets up, but Kyle hits some shoulder tackle. Alan counters, but then Kyle pumps the brakes to avoid an attack. They counter each other about 4 times in a row now until Alan hits a beautiful drop kick. Evil Uno tags in, so does Mark Davis. Mark starts strong with a shoulder tackle of his own, but Evil Uno hits a Hurricanrana, which is good for his looks good for this big size. Evil Uno's a pretty big guy. So Mark then gets up and hits a scoop slam. Kyle now tags in and boots Alan right off the apron with a nice mafia style kick. The Aussie Open double team Uno now. Alan tries to get back in, but eats a huge lariat to send him right back out. Quick tags now have Aussie Open in control and Evil Uno isolated in their corner. Evil strikes back on Mark, but Uno gets taken right back down with a scoop slam. Kyle tags in now, and they miss double team forearms and hit each other's forearms. Then Uno makes them catch each other. One guy catch the other foot, and then he takes them both down, which was cool looking. Then tags in Alan. Alan takes down both men. Then Alan mounts on Kyle in the corner for punches. Mark comes charging in, but Alan heard the big man coming, backflips off the chest of Kyle, flipping over Mark and sending Mark crashing into Kyle. That was amazing looking. And then immediately after that, Alan follows by using Kyle as a platform to hit a beautiful looking tornado DDT on Mark. What a flurry. That was amazing from Alan Angels. And the flurry isn't even over yet because then Kyle comes charging out of the corner and Alan hits a Spanish fly from the mat. Again, amazing stuff there. One of the best little flurries I've seen a guy do against two competitors in a while. I think Alan Angels could do just fine over in Japan. He's so good. So again, amazing stuff here. Evil Uno hits a blind tag when Kyle goes to do a leapfrog over Alan. Evil Uno suplexes Kyle right out of midair. That was awesome looking. Dark Order now work together and take out both men. Evil Uno hits the End of Days, the pendulum face buster or flatliner, I mean, and somehow Kyle kicks out of this big move. Great match so far here. Amazing stuff. Alan now tags in and they both stomp on Kyle's hands at the same time. The loudest chop of the night so far by Alan, now on Kyle. The crowd wants another one because it was so devastating. So unfortunately for Kyle, Alan listens to the crowd. One more big chop. Evil Uno now tags in and he chops Kyle's chest very loudly too. So Kyle's just got his chest totally lit up on that one. Kyle then blocks a suplex, but Uno hits 3 big forearms. Kyle counters the next move into a vertical suplex of his own, and then both men tag out. But Kyle's going to be holding his chest on that one. Mark then catches Allen and beals him all the way across the ring twice. Once on the catch, one on the after that. Allen then flips out of a German suplex attempt. Mark then rolls out of the ring, but Allen dives onto him. That looked cool. Kyle tries to help, but fails on the outside. Allen springboards back into the ring while he already threw Mark in, but he gets chopped right down by Mark. Again, great looking move there. And great little, like, everything in this match has been clicking. Kyle now tags in and they hit a massive double team moves, a few of them. Allen's able to kick out of this. Allen counters the next double team. It's going to be it was the finisher of Aussie Open that Allen countered, and he does this by hurricanranaing Kyle off the move. Then Mark looks for a power bomb right after, but Allen hits him with a hurricanrana, sending Mark flying out of the ring. Uno then runs off the apron, hitting a somersault senton on the Mark. Uno tags in and they double team Kyle with big strikes and a super kick face buster combo. Mark is just barely able to throw Allen into the cover to break up the pin. Allen had gone over the Mark to try and prevent him from getting over there. But that might have, if Allen never went over there to cover for him, Mark might have never had the time to get in the ring himself. So that might have cost the Dark Order the match. Allen thought he was doing the right thing, but the youngster might have made the mistake there. So Kyle's chest is now, we see it's red and purple from all those chops. And now it's Mark's turn to get some chops as Uno lights up the chest of Mark Davis. Mark then hits a back with a big chop of his own. Uno now takes his shirt off so that Mark can hit some more chops, and they exchange chops back and forth. Uno goes to a forearm, but Mark hits a kick. Allen then hits Mark with the kick. Kyle takes out Allen. Uno takes out Kyle. Superplex by Uno onto Mark. Great match. Everything's just happening so fast here. Allen immediately after that superplex comes crashing down from the top rope with a frog splash on Mark. But Uno is the legal man, and Uno was down from the superplex, which hurts his own back. So unable to make the cover there, maybe another mistake. So 2 little mistakes here by Dark Order might have cost them the match. So you know what that means. Uno and Mark get up at the same time. Uno counters and tags in Allen. Mark then cartwheels out of their double team attempt and clotheslines both men to the ground. Mark then throws Allen around the ring like he's nothing. Great strength here by Mark and great bumping by Allen. They then hit a double team on Uno, and then the finisher, the Aussie Open finisher, which is hard to describe, but almost like a 2-man power bomb, gets the 1, 2, 3. The winners by pinfall are Aussie Open, representing the United Empire, and they celebrate with the crowns up hand sign and then just leave. So, wow, was that match amazing. I had to pause it a few times so I can write everything down. Something I never do with live shows, but if it's a recorded show, I tell myself there's no excuse to just get everything written down. So I hope you enjoyed all that kind of recap and stuff. It's kind of, if it's just a plain review without the recaps, it's not going to be a very long show. Plus, I might forget things that I like. So while I'm describing it, I can tell you, oh yeah, this move was awesome, because I'm now reliving the match that I just saw before coming on in my head as I'm describing it, and I can give you like, oh yeah, this was good, or no, this was a terrible move here, kind of took me out, or whatever. So anyway, Ian Riccaboni, before the show ends, tells us that next week it will be the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, and Yuya Uemura teaming up in the other one of the semifinal matches of this tournament to take on TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneels, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols. So that's going to be a great match. You never know. Christopher Daniels, the veteran here, might be able to pull it off, but Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols have so much chemistry together, probably over 15 years of chemistry together. So That's going to be a great match. No other matches announced for next week other than Ian said that they will be singles matches. So that looks like the other semifinal match between Stray Dogs Army and Aussie Open will be in 2 weeks. So I'm not quite sure when the finals will be, but next week is the 100th episode of New Japan Strong. So maybe we'll get a nice surprise match in one of those one or maybe both of the singles matches. Maybe there's only going to be one other match and it ends up being a banger that's like 25 minutes. So I have no idea. I'm always ready for a nice surprise though. Anyway, this show tonight was great overall. The spitting in the crowd kind of took me out of that first match. I was kind of unfamiliar with all four of those men, but some of the stuff in the match was all right looking. I wouldn't mind seeing them again and giving them more chances. So anyway, the Tito and Lawlor match was awesome. Loved seeing Tito go from a street fighter to a guy that has technical ability. That's awesome. I've been watching Bad Dude Tito for years. He started in I started watching him in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and to see him go all the way to now he's over there in the G1 shows. He's not in the G1 himself, but he's helping Jonah out, which is also great to see Jonah in G1. So great stuff there. And then the Dark Order versus Aussie Open main event was fantastic. A lot of great matches this weekend, but this was one of the best. Almost as good as anything we saw in G1. It's hard to compare the two with the G1 matches being singles matches as part of a tournament, a month-long tournament where there's a time limit and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to get injured because you have a tournament to do, but as opposed to a fast-paced, almost lucha style tag match. But so it's hard to compare the two, but this was some of the best stuff I've seen all weekend. When you compare it with the Tito Lawlor match going right into that Dark Order Aussie Open match. So if you missed this, if you're only listening to my review and you missed the show, I would definitely recommend watching those. You can skip the first match and watch those second two matches. So anyway, I also have been doing all the G1 reviews, like I've been saying, and separate videos with all the backstage comments. So if you're someone that doesn't like to read subtitles, definitely go check those out for the G1. That's where we get a lot of our stories. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I will be back for New Japan on Wednesday. That's when the next G1 show is. Well, actually, I'll be back later today when I get the transcriptions or the translations of the backstage comments. So if you're interested, I'll be doing the backstage comments from this today's G1 event as well later today. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. So have a good one. Peace.